Hey guys, it's Sarah from Book Nerds and Fangirls, and yes, I am wearing the outfit I wore in the previous video because this was shot in the same day. So I have gathered my composure back from whenever I was watching the Riverdale Season 4 episode 1. One, if you've watched that video, you probably watched by now because I probably put it up before this one. I was bawling like a baby. Baby because that was a Luke Perry tribute episode, and I find things to be more devastating when they're raw and real. Real because the actor who did play Archie's dad in the show did pass away way in March, so that is still a raw and real reaction. It's probably one of the reactions where you will see me cry, so that's fun. I think I have a lot of fun reactions filmed. I have a sleep-deprived Nancy Drew reaction that I'm editing now to put up. So you guys will have already seen it by this point, but it's in the editing stages as I'm watching Legacies and compiling my thoughts. So I'm exporting that now because I'm done with editing that, and while I'm waiting, I'm also gonna be watching Legacies. Legacies I'll be more into, so I will only talk during the commercial breaks of Legacies, and I'm so excited that Legacies is out. Legacies was one of my favorite shows last year, so hopefully we could go on with the Legacies train. The first half of Legacies was okay, but it got better the more episodes we got into, and I really hope they keep along with that. So I like if you didn't watch season 1, there's gonna be a lot of spoilers in this one, so go ahead and watch season 1. Because I like this title. The title is called I'll Never Give Up Hope. Which is definitely pun intended because, as we remember from season 1, Hope had sacrificed herself to Malivore so he wouldn't rise again because she feels like she was the loophole that nature created to stop Malivore. But as Julie Plec has stated, that was not the case, and it turns out there's more to it than she thought, so I'm interested in learning about this, and obviously they have casted new characters in Legacies, so I am interested in seeing who those new characters are and how the world looks like without Hope. Also, I have been trying to stay away from spoilers all day, but spoilers do have tendencies to follow you, especially if you're looking at Matt Davis in Comic-Con, because he spoiled a lot of stuff. He said, this may or may not happen, and yada yada, and it's just like, ugh. But I do know there is gonna potentially be a new love interest for Lizzie this season, which I'm interested in seeing. Apparently he's a very old-fashioned vampire who's got a different way of thinking, so hopefully I don't hate him, but I heard he is from Descendants. I think he plays Harry Hook. Don't quote me on that. I just know he's from Legacies. Not Legacies. I know he's in Legacies right now, but I know he's in Descendants. I'm pretty sure he plays Harry Hook. And apparently he's got quite the fan following, so let's see how he does. Already from the promos, I'm nervous because, well, you'll see in my reactions reactions. I already know who one of the new couples is going to be, and I don't think I'm here for it. But there's also going to be two siblings in this season 2, but I don't think we're going to see them during the first episode. There's also going to be a new sheriff in town, so I would like to know more about that. Yeah, said I didn't want to spoil myself, but I know so much because I watched Matt Davis at Comic-Con, and that was probably a mistake. But I'm babbling on. Let's go on with this episode. I'm excited. And I'll see you guys during the first commercial break so we could discuss it. Alright, so first part is done and over with. Like most of Julie Plex's first episodes with the season, it's a little bit slow to start, so there might be more that's gonna happen later on. So when we first get started, instead of Hope's narration, we get Landon's narration, which I think is a new and interesting thing. Also, he is, like, king of making hope puns. Puns like, I'll never give up hope. I just feel so hopeless. Like, there's, like, a lot of things you could do with the word hope, and they're just, like, again, everything in there. So I like to say that. Also, we have a new intro instead of it being, like, fireworks and blood, which is like the mix of the Vampire Diaries and the originals, like we had in the first season. Now it's just, you know, the Vampire Diaries, like everything, like for Vampire Diaries, the originals, and Legacies, it always has like the blood squirrel thing, but this one has like a big giant Malivore hole, I'm pretty sure it is, and I actually really prefer this over the original one. Not that the original one was bad, it's just, it's new and it's fresh. And it's a good idea to switch your intros up once in a while as the series goes on. One thing I really want to preference is that I really hope that this season MG gets a new love interest, because he's still stuck on Lizzie, even though Lizzie shows no remote interest back in him. This guy is getting friend-zoned so hard, and I just really want him to focus on moving on from Lizzie, because she shows no interest, and I feel like this is more of like a Matt being hung up on Elena thing than like a great love. It's not gonna be like Delana or Stelena or any of the other epic ships in my heart. I just think MG and Lizzie are better off as friends. I don't know. We'll see as the season goes along. I like MG as a character. Do not like him and Lizzie together. I actually don't really ship Lizzie with anyone at the moment. I really hope she finds someone, but if she does not find someone, that's okay too. So we'll go ahead and we'll Tunjan. Actually, there are more things that I gotta unpack. Like, apparently, Alark lost that vote 3-1. I feel like a thing that's gonna be brought up is that one vote probably wasn't Josie. I have a feeling that for more dramatic effect, it's gonna be proved that Josie said that her dad should be kicked out of the Salvatore school for the young and gifted. And I feel like that's the reason why he's gonna have a vendetta against the Salvatore school this season. season because even his own daughter turned against him, which is probably why Josie feels that it's necessary to spend all of this time with her dad. It's probably guilt that she's doing this out of because she knows that she probably said yes to sending him off and on his way. I'm also a little curious about how being stuck in wolf form will affect Ruff overall. Because, you know, that's gonna suck being stuck in wolf form for possibly months now. I think it takes away a lot of human aspects. I don't think it's something that was, like, really explored in the originals in depth. It's probably, like, very hard, but unlike Haley and Jackson and the rest of the group, they could have at least, like, switched. Like, had one night of being human while Ruff is permanently stuck in wolf form until Hope gets back, which seems pretty like it's not gonna happen anytime soon. Maybe at the end of this episode, I don't know. Now, also, we see Hope in Malivore, and it looks like something is about to suck her up, and Clark saves her. So, I'm wondering if the fact that Clark and Hope are stuck in Malivore together is, like, I'm wondering if that's kind of like a Damon and Bonnie situation, as you remember in season 6. Whenever Bonnie and Damon entered the prison world because the other side was collapsing. Damon got sent there because he was holding Bonnie's hand, and that in turn got him into the prison world as well as Bonnie. So I wonder if it's kind of like that situation. If Malivore is kind of like a prison world in a sense, if not like more horrible, but in a sense of, you know, if you enter Malivore with a person, that person is also stuck with you in Malivore. I wonder if it's kind of like that. I wonder if Malivore and prison world work the same way. But only in a prison world you at least have something to do, while Malivore is just like a big pit of nothing, just blackness, with nothing to do. We'll explore Malivore more in this episode. I'm interested to see what it is. But let's get on with this video. So, a bit more things have happened. We have learned that Malivore still exists and Hope didn't destroy it, but rather she changed the structure of how Malivore worked. So instead of her just being desolated and alone without anyone to talk to or things like that, apparently the creatures can now see and talk to each other. We notice that whenever Hope and Clark can now see each other and interact with each other, there's like this time warp that Clark said it could destroy her and other things like that. But maybe it won't destroy her. Maybe it's like her path out of Malivore. I'm not sure. We'll see what's up with that vortex sooner or later. And then, another thing that happened is that it's around the 4th of July at the current moment, and I find it so frustrating that Josie is just asking simple questions about the Ascendant, and her dad is avoiding the topic of the Ascendant because we know that Kai is in the Ascendant. We know that he is in a prison world right now. right now, and if they destroy the Ascendant or anything like that, Kai could get out of this prison world. And I don't know. No, does anyone think Kai is coming back? I know they're trying to get Chris Wood back to play Kai. It would be pretty great if Kai could come back. But I don't know yet. We'll see. See, also, we found out that Landon keeps dying because every time he dies, he gets flashes of Hope in his memory. Now, if he doesn't see Hope's full face, he sees her hair, he sees her eyes and her smile, but he doesn't see her personally. So maybe we're breaking the chain over here. But let's see what happens. I'm a little bit interested to see how this is gonna go. Okay, I know some people may hate me for this observation, but I think Josie and Landon are actually kind of a cute couple. Now, they're not on the same par as Hope and Landon are. They're still the supreme couple in this show, but I actually don't mind their pairing like so many other people were minding their pairing. I was like, okay, that makes somewhat sense considering the fact that he doesn't know Hope, he doesn't remember Hope, he only has like flashes of her smile and her eyes and her stuff that'll probably help him whenever, if ever she comes back. We'll see how all that's gonna work. So after seeing like the montage of their relationship, it's a cutesy relationship. It's not like super serious. It's in the flirtation stage, so I don't see it becoming like a huge thing. And if it is a huge thing, then that's fine with me. We could experiment with that coupling a little bit. Like I said, if they wanted to experiment with different couples, now is the time to do so because they're only in season 2. It's not like they defined relationships in season 1. Mostly Legacies is about friendship, it's not about relationships at all. So I feel like this is a good show to like have different couplings on there. Speaking of different couplings, I chuckled a little bit when I found out that MG liked Caleb's sister Kim, because I feel like they had more chemistry than Lizzie and MG have ever had. I just don't see the chemistry between MG and Lizzie. I see their chemistry as friends. I don't really get the whole why would they would be a coupling in the first place. I just think that MG needs a girl that's interested in him, and Caleb's sister seems way more interested in him than Lizzie is. Also, I'm gonna mention, also going back to the Josie and Landon relationship, I feel like I need to see more of their relationship to see who I ship more, Josie and Landon, or Hope and Landon, or Posey, as people call them, which is the ship between Penelope and Josie. I have to say I didn't really care for that ship. I've heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think Josie is a pansexual character. I don't know if that has been confirmed or not. So we could see her interact with a bunch of love interest as the show goes along. I think they need to have this relationship to show that sexuality is a spectrum, and you could just date whoever you want, and people should be fine with it. But I do like this relationship so far. It's very cutesy. They both were. This is more like a relationship that's established because both of them are in a dark place trying to stop thinking about, dying and actually start thinking about living, because Landon would repeatedly kill himself just to see Hope and figure out who he is missing in his life. And of course, Josie is obsessed with the idea of the Ascendant and how it could potentially stop the merge between Josie and Lizzie, and the only other way for, I think, that merge to be stopped between the twins is to get Kai out of the prison world and have one of them merge with Kai, because he is the only living Gemini Coven member besides Josie and Lizzie. But I feel like if we release Kai from the prison world, it would be the same situation that Kai and Luke were in. Where Kai would have more power over Luke, and Kai would end up killing one of the twins anyway, and I really hope they flesh out this story more. I know the Ascendant is gonna be a huge part of season 2. So I think that's it. I also hope, when we're talking about fleshing out a story, I really hope that they flesh out Clark's story more. I hope they see him as less as a villain and more as like an anti-hero like Damon Salvatore was. Now let me make this clear. I don't think Clark is in any way, shape, or form even up to par with Damon Salvatore. Damon, if most of you don't know, is one of my favorite characters from the Vampire Diary universe. Like, he's like the overall one of my favorite characters from all 3 of the shows. I just love him, and I love Klaus and Lizzie. Those are my top 3. I'm having more of an appreciation for Caroline as this goes along, too. But those 3 are my favorites so far. I think they're very strong characters. Oh, and Elijah was a pretty good one, too. But, let's get on with the episode. So we didn't learn a lot from my last commercial to my next one, but we did find out a few things from the truth spell. So Hope is out of Malivore now because apparently the reason why Malivore did not get destroyed is because Hope is not a full tribrid. So if she were a full vampire, if she had died to activate her vampire side, then she would be a true tribrid. But since she has not died and activated that part of herself completely, now she is actually toxic to Malivore. So what happened is he was opening that vortex to try to expel her out because she is toxic to him. I think that's gonna come back to bite her in the ass later, because now that she is out of Malivore, there is nothing to keep him held in there also. So he might come back in a swing now that she is out of Malivore. Also, Reef is missing. Ralph. I'm sorry if I'm Raphael. I'm just gonna call him Raphael because that's his actual name on this show. He has been missing for a couple days, probably because of, the blooming relationship between Josie and Landon. I'm pretty sure Raphael remembers Hope in some way, shape, or form. There's just something going on with Raphael. I don't think he is forgetting her, and I don't know how that's plausible, but we'll see if he ever, turns back into wolf form. And how Hope just like bounces out of there about Clark. Clark, because she can, because every time he touches her, like his dad just like closes the vortex because he just wants Clark to suffer. Father of the year. He's like right up on the parenting list next to Lily Salvatore now, if you know what I mean. If you haven't seen my title, probably I don't know if it's fuck you, Lily Salvatore, or screw you, Lily Salvatore, but I didn't like her. So you could see my ranking appearance in freaking the Vampire Diaries universe, but let's get on to the video. Okay, so we come back and we figure out that Ralph is missing, of course. And they find out that Ralph isn't missing. He's been there all along. He's just becoming more and more in wolf form. I really hope now that Hope is back that she turns Ralph back into human. I mean, I know you're heartbroken about Landon right now, Hope, but could we please turn Ralph back to establish if you still have magic or not? That'd be great. Also, while Josie is confronting Lark in the bar about the Ascendant, which finally he told her the truth about. We'll get to that in a minute. We get a glimpse of the new sheriff, who is supposedly supposed to be his new love interest, so we'll see more about that development later. It shocks me how much we don't get to see Lizzie Summer, and we still haven't like got into like the MG Caleb thing. They've been gone for a while now. So I don't know what's up with that. That also, I am so glad that they finally established the Ascendant thing. I'm glad that their dad finally told Josie that the Ascendant is dangerous because Kai is in the Ascendant, and they do not want to use the Ascendant because it is a last resort, because, you know, Kai is very dangerous, and I'm glad that Alark filled Josie in on how dangerous Kai really is. I'm surprised they haven't noticed a lot about Kai. Now, it looks like one of those overall threats that you would tell your daughters about, but then again, Lark always wants to be very protective over his children, and I get that. But when there's a psychopathic murderer stuck in an Ascendant that your twins have found, or that is still around, you might want to tell them about the psycho so they don't release it. Just saying, that's mistake number one. Also, I'm glad that Lizzie is concentrating every minute of every day into her mental health. I'm glad they're having a conversation about therapy and how it could help someone's mental health. I got to see how it works out in the seasons to come. In like the episodes to come. I have a feeling that, you know, if Lizzie does ever end up meeting Kai, I wouldn't say it would be disastrous, per se, but I saw that whole look she was giving Josie about the whole we can't go down there, and could tell that she really wants to go down there. I think it's more of a self-sacrificing thing. Like, Lizzie loves Josie a lot, she just doesn't know how to show it. Also, Hope forgot for a second that no one remembers her, so whenever she was talking to Dorian, he was all like, hey, how do you know my name? It's like, oh, it's in your, like, press badge and other stuff like that. That might mistake number one, but like, Hope comes back, and my first thought is, kid, Hope, like, before she sees, like, Landon and Josie, because I knew that was gonna happen sooner or later, I was really hoping that she would first concentrate on, you know, turning Ruff back into an actual human. I don't know how that will affect his psyche or things, but she's gotta fix that before she just goes off and cries about Landon and Josie, but that's very heartbreaking. I mean, technically, Landon is not cheating on Hope with Josie because he does not remember Hope. He remembers, like, little bits of her essence, but he doesn't know her as a whole. Well, and that's what happens whenever your memory is wiped from existence. Kind of like in season 6, whenever Elena wants Alark to make her forget that she ever loved Damon. I think it's kind of like that situation. So I think like Hope and Damon have a lot in common. Right now, especially with their loved ones forgetting who they are. That's gotta be like really hurt. The only thing is Hope is a more severe case. Severe case because everyone forgot about her. So we'll see how that affects her in the long run. We still got like a couple more minutes. I might pop up on here like one more time, but we'll see. Still haven't seen like a Sebastian, I think his name is. I still haven't seen Sebastian's character. I think he's coming in next episode, but we'll see. Okay, so first episode of Legacies Season 2, one and done. I will say I feel bad for Hope because, you know, she just saw the love of her life move on with someone else. And of course, next episode we will be showing the semester. This is just like a catch-up episode of what's been happening over the summer, which I appreciate, but I don't know. Now, we'll see how episode 2 is. Legacies, the first episodes always tend to be a little bit flatter, and then it picks up on the second half of the season, so it might be that case. At first when the bus flips over, I'm wondering what the hell happened, and then another monster gets released out of Malivore. And then Clark, being mad, he's just all like, oh, I swear if you let me out, I'll be the bad guy, I'll destroy Michelson. The one thing that destroys you. And then, like, there's this, like, redcoat woman, and apparently she's a witch or something. Because she just, like, does this, like, witch triangle thing, and I'm not sure where this woman was in season 1, but, you know, I'm intrigued to find out what's up with a red coat woman. I'm also intrigued to find out what happened with like Lizzie over the summer besides her mental health thing. Also, there's still a slew of new characters that we haven't met yet. So, I don't know. I don't know how I felt about this episode. I'm still sticking with Legacies. Hopefully, episode 2 is better than episode 1. When they're just trying to start their season off. So, let's hope that something happens. I just want to know who the red coat woman is. So, that was my Legacies Season 2 Episode 1 reaction. What do you guys think of Legacies? Are you gonna stick with it, or are you just like, maybe not this season? Comment down below and let me know, and I will see you guys next week for Legacies, or in my next video whenever I binge watch Insatiable Season 2. It's gonna be a fun one. See you guys in my next video. Bye!